Hello there, welcome to another video. Today I have some Arcane figures I want to show off. Yeah, I never actually talked about doing Arcane figures, but here I am. A little surprise, I guess. If you haven't seen Season 2, by the way, there's like two figures that are kind of spoilery. Kind of. Like they're pre-established characters, but it's kind of spoilery as to what happens to them. But if you haven't seen Season 2, then I recommend go watch that. Anyway, see ya. Alright, so the first figure we have is Jinx. Probably the most recognizable character from the show. But let's just begin. So the hairpiece is just from a bootleg figure. All I did to it was just resculpt the braids, because initially they came as separate pieces. I don't know why, but they were like these little the braid pieces at the bottom. You had to like plug in to like this part, but I didn't like that because I thought it looked ugly. So I was like, okay, well I'll just repaint and resculpt it and whatnot, and that's what I did. I think it turned out a lot better. But the face is just a completely neutral face. I just like giving neutral faces to all my characters because I think it just fits a bit better. But she doesn't just have a neutral face. She has a little devious face. She has like the little pink or like purple, whatever it is, in the eyes to kind of represent the shimmer from the show. And the eye, like the color, like the way I did the color by having like it be a little crescent in there, that is heavily inspired by how Jared Figs does his. That's how I think that's just like a better way of doing colored eyes instead of just doing like the entirety of the eye as a single color with like a white dot in it. I think it just looks better, to be honest, so that's probably what I'm going to start doing from now on. But the torso and the tattoos, they were pretty difficult to make, mainly because like the blue paint I used for the tattoos is like extremely thick. Same with the light nougat skin color that you see going on here. It is very difficult to like kind of work with sometimes, because sometimes it will kind of glob up a little bit and be like really thick. So I had to kind of like water it down here and there, and I had to make sure like I was being precise with my paint strokes and whatnot. But torso pretty simple besides the tattoos. Same with the arms and whatnot. A lot of stripes. You're gonna notice like two figures have like just one of their prominent features is having a lot of stripes on both, like on like their legs primarily. But so there's a little bit of a common like problem that I had with these figures, and that was like paint scratching and paint rubbing. So in Jinx's case, the first figure I made, there was a little bit of paint scratch going on right here, like at the corner of her hip on the left side right here, or on her right side, whichever one. But I repainted it obviously, and I didn't seal it over because I didn't want to risk scratching it again by having to remove the torso from the legs, because the straps right here actually attach to the torso and not the legs or anywhere else. And I did that mainly because I wanted to be able to actually plug these legs into each other, But besides that, the legs were kind of difficult to make because of all those stripes and having to put the gray outlines around the dark purple, so that was annoying. But overall, I like how the figure turned out. I think it's probably one of my favorite figures from the showcase. Moving on, we probably have my least favorite figure. Actually, no, it is my least favorite figure. That would be Vi. I don't hate the character, nor do I hate how the figure turned out. It's just overall my least favorite out of all these figures. So I think it's mainly just because like the jacket detail is like when you're translating that to a Lego figure, because the reference I had like no back detail whatsoever. So it's just kind of like, damn, it's not a whole lot to do for the jacket, huh? It feels like there's something missing, but there wasn't for my reference. But no. So the jacket is just cardstock, and the hair is also a bootleg, by the way. I just hate sculpting hair, so that's just why I used some bootleg hair pieces here and there. But the face is just the one from Kate Bishop. I just modified it a little bit, which is funny because Haley Steinfeld plays both the characters, so I thought that was pretty funny. The torso, just like, I'm not taking off the jacket, it just looks like this. It's pretty simple. There's no back detail on the torso either. But the jacket does have like these tiny little like diamond patterns on them, but you can't really see them because they almost kind of blended. It's like around here, above the blue, like that little blue line. I don't know if you can see it. I can't really see it from my POV on the camera, but I could see it like in person. What I did differently though, this is probably like Vi was the second to last figure I worked on. So for the hip, like for the belt right here, I actually made it a separate piece where you can remove it, kind of similar to. I'll just pull up this figure for example, like the hip cloth on this figure. I made it similar to something like that, where it's just like attached at the torso, well not at the torso, but like it was just kind of sandwiched between. And the strap does go like over the torso a little bit, but so that's the reason why I'm not going to remove it and show you, because it does kind of get a little annoying to put back on. But the arms were pretty meh to make. I hate painting bandages, and especially with the white paint, and that it was kind of bad for this. Like, it was not bad, but it was like annoying. Also, she has tattoos, I think, on her arms and also on her neck. You can kind of see right there. I don't know if she actually has tattoos in the show. I just do not recall. But if she doesn't, then there's not much I can do after. It's not much I can do now. But for the legs, there are also like some lighter gray stripes, because of course, everybody just has to have stripes on their pants. But so there's like just gray stripes on the pants, kind of annoying to make because it was just repetitive and trying to make sure they at least look neat. The legs, like the shoes and whatnot, I don't know why she has so many like brown like strips or bandages or whatever on her legs. But I was just like, man, I'm not even gonna put a black outline around this. I'm just gonna like paint them on. I didn't care about that point. It was just kind of annoying. But overall, not exactly my favorite figure, but I don't hate it. Still a good figure in my opinion. Next up we have Ekko, my favorite character from the show. Here he is. The hairpiece is just a modified Benson Bone hairpiece. It was the one that he used for PlayStation, like the PlayStation Miles Morales from Spider-Man 2. And the face is very much inspired by how Fig's 2 Art did his. He did his like in a smirking face. I just did mine in a neutral face because I just prefer neutral faces. And I only did this because I already attempted to make like a face paint. I even did like concepting for it, but it just did not work out in my favor. So I was like, I'll just take inspiration. I can't figure anything out. But so for the sides, I did also put like the little triangle bits that he has cut into his hair, and he also does have. I tried to do like his fade. It didn't really work out, but I think it's fine for like what it is, for how it turned out, I guess. The jacket is also just cardstock, and I did actually sculpt a hood on him instead of, unlike how I did with Vi. I just didn't feel like sculpting a hood again. But so there's a lot of spray painted looking detail on his jacket. It was kind of annoying to make, but I mean, then again, it's just kind of random, and it's not like anybody's gonna be paying hard attention to that. So it was fine. But the legs are pretty simple. The scarf is also sculpted, and this is what the inside of the torso looks like. I think it turned out pretty good, and I overall just really like how this figure turned out. Next up, we have... Oh, his hairpiece fell off when I set him down. Next up, we have the smallest figure out of the showcase. Heimerdinger. I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly. I'm pretty sure something like that. My camera... This is like my second time re-recording this. My camera always has like a problem focusing on him. But here he is. He's really tiny. I used a Benson Bone baby piece for like the head and the body. Mainly because you can actually detach the arms because they have magnets. Or you can install magnets, whichever one you prefer. But, I had to sculpt the head. So I just did like this little... It has kind of like a flame-looking head to where it's like a tiny little ball of flame kind of going up. And I did a little bit of dark yellow detail at the very top, and then like brighter yellow towards the bottom. And of course I did like his little brow and whatnot, and I overall like how he turned out. Although I didn't give everybody like an accessory or something like that, I gave him a tiny little hammer that you can take out of his hand. Here, I'll see if I can do that right now. I gotta like detach his arm. I'm trying not to break it because of how tiny it is. Did I just scuff some of the paint? I think I just scuffed some of the paint. That's fun. But you can take the hammer out, as you can see. You can take it out of his hand. Yeah, I like the figure. I think he turned out pretty good. Alright, so now this is where we get into Season 2 spoilers. So, you've been warned, I guess. Here we have Jace. This is how he looks during the final episode of Season 2. And I think he turned out pretty good. I like his armor, and I mainly chose this one because I just overall like how he looks. I think it looks better than like his other iteration from Season 1. But, getting reference for characters like Jace and who you'll see in a minute, Viktor, was pretty difficult, mainly because it's not like just a 3D model I can look at, and concept art really tends to vary between design to design, and sometimes it's not 100% accurate to how it actually looks in the show, which is why I usually tend to go for like in-universe reference or just like the closest model I can find. But for this, I was able to find some decent reference. It was mainly the legs I was having a problem with. But the armor is sculpted like on the shoulder and on uh, the other shoulder and on the wrist. The hairpiece is just a bootleg one-piece hairpiece. I think I like modified a little bit in the front to kind of like cover up his forehead a bit. His face uses a warm tan skin tone because I thought that was just most fitting. And then also I did try to color match on his wrist on this one, and he also does have the arcane crystal thing embedded into his arm. Yeah, I'll see if I can like try and get a better focus on it. Yeah, that's probably the best I'm gonna get. Anyways, but yeah, no, I like how it turned out. Again, cardstock, paper, trench coat. I like how the back turned out. Actually, I really like how that like the different colors turned out. But his armor was kind of difficult to decide because there's like a green hue over everything, and it seems that most of like the people in the show, like the enforcers, have like a dark blue armor, but for his, it just kind of appeared more black. It's probably dark blue. It's probably what it is because it would only make sense if it was dark blue because how every other enforcer's armor is dark blue. So it would only make sense, but I just made it black because that's just kind of how it appeared in the show, and that's just kind of how it appeared at the final episode. But I did also make like besides the armor, I made like the bottom pavement just so you can kind of like differentiate. I'm gonna take off the legs just so you can actually see what they look like because I did paint the brace on his side because he did break or mess up his leg at some point, kind of mirroring how Viktor messed up his leg or has a messed up leg. So it's like opposite legs now or something like that. I don't know. The gay lovers always messing up their legs or something. I don't know. Anyways, now we have Viktor, the final figure. Fun fact, I actually finished this guy as of recording this. I finished him today. So that's pretty funny. So the head is completely sculpted. Not completely, but you know, I used a Lego figure as a base and I just sculpted the front part and then used like an official Lego hair as the back part. And I like how it turned out. Initially, I just like put everything in this pavement color because like his whole body is just really dark in the show. By this point, it's like it's kind of even got like a little bit of a purpley hue to it. So I thought this was probably like the most fitting color I could get without having to mix colors because that just mixing colors gets a little annoying, especially if it like takes 2 days or something like that. Because then I have to like seal it up. I have to make sure it doesn't dry. It gets annoying. But for this, I did actually take a little bit of lighter gray and kind of put it around like the top part of his head, even kind of like on the cheeks. I thought it would help kind of like differentiate in the face and kind of give it a little bit more detail. So I think it looks pretty good. The eyes are just like pure yellow and orange, like a yellow inside and orange outline, because he doesn't have like any normal human eyes anymore. So that's why he looks like this. His cape is just cardstock. I used like a Cape Madness, like 4-hole cape as reference, because it does wrap around the shoulders. And I did glue like this little bit of cardstock on the back too. Just to kind of like have that little, I don't know what these are, like these little dangly bits that kind of go off to the side, or not on the side, but like at the back. The arm, on the other hand, is, yeah, I'll just take off the cape thing, scarf? Is it a scarf? I don't know. Cape, scarf thing, whatever it is. Just so you could see this. So the little contraption I got going on here, also you get the front detail. There's a little bit of purple here and there throughout the figure. But for this, what's his name? Sakurai? I think that's how you say his name. I don't know. I've never actually heard someone say his name or pronounced it myself. But he used this technique where he took this little antenna piece right here, like the one with the stud on the bottom. He used this, and he used like these droid arms, and he used them as like ball sockets or whatnot, because they have like a little bit of a stronger grip than the lever and skeleton arm technique. And he would like sculpt on the top and whatnot. And he used this for like one of his Fortnite figures. I think it was like Renegade Lynx. But I decided to use that here because I thought it was probably the best option for doing like this posability thing. Because you know you can actually do that. You can put it on the other side if you look at that, it pops out. You can put it on the other side. You can just do whatever with it. So like if you want it on the left, you could put it on the left, and it's just something like that. So it was just mainly for posability. And the claw part was actually made from, those like pincers they would have on old Lego robots? Yeah, it was made from that. All I did was just kind of like cut them up a little bit and just kind of spread them out and then even put one on top, just so it has like that three finger look. I don't know why it's 3 fingers. I really don't know. But yeah, no, I overall like how this figure turned out. He was actually the final figure I made. But yeah, overall, I like how he turned out, and I overall like how all these figures turned out. Take a shot every single time I say overall. Overall, I guess I can tease some figures. I got Fortnite, obviously. I've been saying that for a while now. So here, look, it's Fish Stick. Woo! Get the fuck out of here. We got Peely, and then we got Jonesy with his pickaxe. Oh my gosh, so cool. And then, of course, I have Elden Ring, probably going to be my biggest project I work on. But here he is, my Tarnished. But, yeah, that's it for now. It's funny because I'm recording this before I even, record the bit. If there will be one, I'm still kind of contemplating whether or not I actually put one because I don't feel like it. And before I even, post it on Instagram, so I'm, so, I really don't know if there's going to be a bit at the end of this. So if there's not, then I just didn't feel like it.
There is no bit.
But, yeah, that's about it. See you in the next video. Oh, he flew out of my hand.